$50 billion. That's not a lottery win. That's a banking nightmare waiting to happen. If you see this in your account, do not buy that boat. Welcome back. So today we're looking at a family in Baton Rouge who woke up to find $50 billion in their Chase account. And look, I've been in the banking industry for over 15 years. I've worked the back office. I've seen the ledgers. I've seen the errors. I've seen some crazy stuff. But $50 billion? That is a special kind of mistake. A lot of people see this and think, bank error in your favor. Collect $200, right? Like Monopoly? No. In the real world, we call that a felony. Today, I'm going to break down exactly how a screw up this massive happens technically. Like, how the bank system even allow that number? And I'm gonna tell you the legal reality of what happens if you try to spend even a dime of it. Because trust me, the bank always wins. Let's get into it.
A Baton Rouge family got the shock of a lifetime when an enormous amount of money was mistakenly deposited in their account.
NBC Local 33's Jonah Gilmore brings us the family story. Now, Jonah, I know we're all hoping to win this COVID-19 money with the lottery, but I think this story has a different ending.
Definitely, Tavares. Imagine waking up to $50 billion. Yes, billion with
billion.
a B. Well, that's what happened, and although it looked nice, the family says they knew someone made a big mistake.
It was crazy to see.
Pause. Look at that number. Pending $50 billion. First off, let's talk about how this happens. In my 15 years, I've seen fat finger errors, sure. But usually, when you see a nice round number like that, 50 billion flat, it's not someone typing in a deposit wrong. It's usually a data mapping error. Here's the inside baseball. Banks run massive batch processes overnight. Millions of transactions, sometimes when they're testing new software or updating a legacy system. And let me tell you, some of these bank systems are older than I am. A test file gets picked up as a production file. Or someone maps the account number field to the amount field. If the routing number or some internal GL code, general ledger, is something like 5000, suddenly the system reads that as a dollar amount. It's a field mapping error. It bypasses the usual checks because the system thinks it's just processing a valid data string. So this family wakes up, checks the app, and sees the GDP of a small country in their checking account. Literally enough to buy the bank itself.
What it looks like.
It sounds like a dream waking up a billionaire.
She says, look, and she pulled up our Chase account, and there was $50 billion in our account.
Last week, this money was mistakenly deposited into Darren James's daughter's account.
She's like, no way. You know, oh my God. I'm like, don't get your hopes up. We can't do nothing with it.
After noticing the money, James called his bank.
I wasn't going to keep it no matter what.
Hoping.
This guy, this dad right here, he's the smartest man in America. We can't do nothing with it, he knows. See, there's this concept in law called unjust enrichment. And in the criminal code, it's often called theft by conversion or theft by finding. Here's the reality. When you sign that deposit agreement, the 40 pages of fine print nobody reads when they open an account, you're agreeing that if a bank makes an error, it is not your money. The title to that money never transfers to you. If this dad had gone out and bought a Ferrari or transferred $1 million to an offshore account, the moment the bank realized the error, which takes about 24 hours usually, he'd be on the hook. And I don't mean pay it back when you can. FBI comes a knocking. I remember a case a few years back, not 50 billion, but couple $100,000 landed in a guy's account. He spent it on cars and a down payment. When the man clawed it back, his account went negative. He went to jail. Literally, prison time. Because spending money yours is theft. Simple as that.
To find out how it got there.
The thing that was most baffling was we wanted to know where it came from because we don't know anybody with that kind of money.
Although he didn't know how or why, the bank started reversing the error right away.
There was a hold on it and showed up.
And there it is, the clawback. You see that negative 49 billion. I'm not gonna read it. Let's talk about the ledger reconciliation. Every night, the bank has to balance its books. Assets equal liabilities plus equity. Basic accounting. When you have 50 billion whole on one side of the ledger, alarm bells go off. The CFO, Chief Financial Officer, probably got a call at 3 a.m. What happens next is the bank exercises its right of set-off. That's a clause in your contract. It means if you owe the bank money or if it accidentally gave you money, they can take it from any account you have with them. Checking, savings, investments. they freeze it all. So you see that negative balance? That's the system correcting. They debit the 50 billion back out. If you had spent $10 on a burger, your account would now be negative $10 plus the 50 billion reversal. And they'd hit you with an overdraft fee just to add insult to injury. It's funny, but it's also scary how fast they can lock you down. You go from theoretically billionaire to card decline at a gas station in a heartbeat. But let's play a game for a second. Everybody does it. What if I just transferred it to Bitcoin? What if I moved it to Switzerland? Here's why that doesn't work. The SWIFT system, the Fed wire system, every movement of money leaves a digital footprint. If you tried to wire 50 billion, first of all, the wire room at the bank would flag that instantly. A wire that size needs manual approval from senior executives. You aren't moving on your own mobile app $50 billion. If you try to move 10,000, it triggers a suspicious activity report, aka SAR. You can't outrun the bank's audit trail. And let's say you manage to withdraw the cash, you'd need a fleet of dump trucks. It's not physically possible. So this dad is saying, I wasn't gonna keep it. He's not just being moral, he's being practical. There is literally no way to win this game.
Showed up Saturday, it stayed there Sunday, it stayed there Monday, and it was gone on Tuesday.
In a matter of days, their billionaire status was gone.
We took screenshots to at least be able to say, hey, look, we were once, I guess, theoretically, in theory, billionaires.
And if it
Theoretical billionaires. I love it. There's a psychology aspect to this. For those 48 hours, they saw that number. It changes your brain chemistry a little bit, right? You start thinking, I could fix everything. I could help everyone. He mentioned he would bless other people. That's a beautiful sentiment. But can you imagine the stress, knowing it's there, knowing it's wrong, and just waiting for it to vanish? In banking, we call this phantom funds. They look real, they affect the balance, but they have no value date. They haven't settled. It's not like a ghost in the machine. And honestly, getting that taken away, that's gotta hurt a little. Even if you knew it wasn't yours, watching 50 billion disappear, that's a rough Tuesday morning. Honey, we're broke again. Did we lose the money? No, we just lost the idea of money.
ever comes a time this dream comes true, James says he'll leave his mark on this world by helping others.
There's enough greatness in this world that we can all have a life we never thought was possible. And so if I did have $50 billion, to bless other people.
Now, if this happens to you, it's important to know that you cannot keep the money. Banks usually catch these errors and reverse the transactions. Banks can even file a police report launching an investigation, and if anything is missing, you could face jail time.
A Baton Rouge family.
So, the takeaway here. If you wake up tomorrow and your bank app shows you have enough money to buy Twitter, take a screenshot. Frame it, put it on the wall, tell your grandkids you were a billionaire for a weekend. But do not touch the money. Call the bank. Be like James in Baton Rouge, because the alternative is explaining to a federal judge why you thought the banking glitch was a gift from the universe. And judges, they don't usually have a great sense of humor about all that stuff. Have any of you ever had a bank err in your favor? Maybe not 50 billion, but like double deposit? Did you spend it? Did they catch you? Let me know in the comments below. I read them all. And if you want more insider breakdowns on how money actually works and how to keep the money you actually earn, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Until next time, check your balances, but don't get your hopes up.